we on?
I think so.
I think we
Should be.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Feytouched, our brand new Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign set in the wondrous Feywild. I'm James, a professional dungeon master with RPGathome. Pleasure to welcome you to this fantastic campaign in episode 7. Can you believe it? We've been doing this 7 times. It's like,
Years.
wow.
What?
It's crazy. We're going to be 20 hours in and we still haven't learned anything.
It's been 3 days. It's been 3 in-game days.
That's right. 3 in-game days. And level 4, which is really exciting. Level 4 last week, which is great. So we can't wait to see a few of the extra abilities we pulled out. Of course, joining me on this journey are these lovely 4 people that you see around me. Warm welcome and well met to you all. Eric, how's sunny San Francisco today? Or Bay Area, wherever you are, somewhere on the... It's hot.
Yes, hot, drowdy, and yeah. What's up? I'm Eric. It is, unfortunately. I'm Eric. I play Bisbo, the Hammer Thorn. Should I elaborate more?
Sure.
He had a rough time. I mean, you guys have seen some real emotion, some talk back. So he's going through some stuff. Yeah.
Reeling from betrayal, stabbed by his best friend. What an awful thing. What an awful thing. And with us also, Latreni. Hi, Latreni. How are you today?
Hello. I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm okay. Australia's in lockdown again. COVID got out of the hospital and came to Australia. So we're all sitting at home, homeschooling children. Loving that. That's great. And you?
I'm doing okay. It's not as hot here as I think it is over where Eric is. So that's been a nice reprieve. Everything's going pretty well.
Good.
Yes.
And joining us and battling through, speaking of plagues, battling through illness and on her deathbed that decided, nope, this game's worth more than my life. And I'm dragging myself out of bed. I'm going to do it for the team. Hi, Taylor. How are you feeling? Oh, with a bottle of wine.
That was a bottle of wine.
Yes.
Specifically, this is a bottle of Shiraz. This is a bottle of Shiraz, and I find that drinking Shiraz when I have a cold, I feel better. So I have a little bit of Australia with me today. But hi, I'm Taylor. I play the Eladrin elf Esmeralda, who is quite sick of this Mortal Realm bullshit. I will try to get through.
No.
What are we saying?
As the representative of the Mortal Realm, this is not Mortal Realm. Isabel, come on.
The representative?
Come on, clearly.
Oh.
What do you mean?
Oh
This
my
is
God,
not
I
Mortal
cannot
Realm.
wait to hear this.
It is kind of like flying into a city that you're like just staying in momentarily and like going to a hotel on the worst part and like being like, oh, this city sucks. Like, it is kind of
This is like
that.
flying
That's
to
true, too.
LA and then staying at that one hotel near Skid Row. I'm forgetting the name of it. It's exactly what she's done.
Well, welcome, Taylor. I'm looking forward to belligerent, drunken Fey princess. And let me tell you another thing. God damn it.
I feel like I should get a drink now too.
And our stream master and all things technical, who you can see the stress and the steam coming out every week. Hi, Jared. How are we looking today?
Oh my gosh.
I think we're doing okay. I'll probably do a sound check one more time. Maybe Sirenscape has always been running in the background. I just want to make sure we're not getting duplicate audio at some point. So, but we're doing okay. We're the stream. People look okay. Faces are moving. Sounds going on. So
Excellent. We're having fun.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, thank you anyway.
Yeah.
And so welcome all 4. A big game planned. We finally got to go finish the game in a tavern without being attacked by swamp monsters or puppet things or crazy fae dudes. So everyone gets a bit of a rest, which is really, really lovely. Before we begin, as per usual, every week we need to acknowledge the creatives and the artists that we're using for this session. And of course, last week we unveiled our fantastic character artwork, which really happy with, and the incredible work of Darshan Fragnani, who does some beautiful art. Check him out. He's on Instagram and stuff. Links are in the YouTube video when we finally put it up. We also have art and sounds for Dungeons & Dragons, and there's heaps of artists that do lots of things. I need to thank Sirenscape for the sound that you're hearing right now, our little noodling bard that seems to be the it's been 3 weeks of the same guitar track, but I'm stoked with it. We'll continue on with that. They create amazing immersive sounds, just what you're listening to today. We've got some great soundtracks coming up this episode, which will be really, really good. We're also using a lot of material from Cobalt Press, so the fantastic third-party publisher called Cobalt Press. Thank you very much. This game is set in their world of Midgard and the Forest of the Avernus, and we use a whole heap of their backgrounds and their subclasses and spells and stuff like that. So if you want to do something a little bit different out of the norm, check out what we do, check out what they do. And starting this week, we're using some great NPCs and bits of lore from a new creator, a very talented The Wild Court. These awesome folks, they make some extraordinary content for D&D and on DM's Guild, particularly related to the Feywild. So if you're a DM that's looking for a little bit more than the official content like I do, they've got heaps of amazing source books on hags and Fey courts and different Fey folk and things like that. So I'm starting to grab a bit of that stuff because it's amazing and they do really good work. So thank you. And finally, a quick shout out to the artists for the tokens and battle maps that we may get to today, depending on how unfortunate our team are. And that includes Forgotten Adventures, Moonlight Maps, and a new map maker this week called Tayhawk's Maps. I'm sure you'll agree there's some amazing art today, and I hope you enjoy. We've got a long list now. Lots of people are helping us. It's really cool. So,
and if you want to be added to that list, you can reach out to James at RPGathome.com and tell him that you've got cool stuff and you want to be on. You want to have it on the show.
That's it.
You go.
And I will tattoo your emblem on my face. So
there you go. That's on the record. So
that is now good.
And we didn't even have tears.
Like we say, the NASCAR of the Dungeons and Dragons world. We'll take any of it. Just But I digress. Is everyone feeling good? Taylor's got a bottle. Yeah. Eric's looking chilled. The Trini's looking pumped. Jared's looking stressed. It must be working. Tuesday or Monday. It must be D&D day.
Yes.
So let's begin. So when last we met, you guys are in the Cerulian Inn, the Blue Inn, in the middle of a forest, in the middle of the Avernus. Having fled the village of Riverbend after her mystical transformation into a hexblood, Tismé has been seeking refuge from the ex-husband of her mentor, a druid named Tiernan, who was apparently in this inn. And having arrived at the inn and defeated the Fae that had control of the inn, through the use of illusion and charm, you guys drove off the puppet master of the inn, a bard that had an illusionary bard who was actually some strange, cloven-hoofed Fae creature that was controlling and mind controlling everyone within the inn. With Esmeralda, with the assistance of Tismé, who was distracting the tavern with her extensive knowledge of bread making, Esmeralda managed to kind of break up the charm, alerting everyone to what was really going on, and a massive fight ensued that involved mind control, psychic slapping, daggers being thrown at various party members until this creature leapt out of the back window and disappeared into the forest. The second of a Muerta, the witch's Fey lieutenants to have escaped your grasp since we started this adventure, which is kind of cool. But not before the witch had, via this puppet master, given Tismé a wand of whispers that allows her to communicate to the witch. Esmeralda, excuse me, I have a sneeze coming on, 1 moment. Okay, sorry about that. Esmeralda, having communicated with the witch, you guys then had a chat with Tiernan, the druid, who's belligerent, drunk, bit Russell Crowe-y, and have settled down for the night. The first long rest, actually only the second long rest since we started the game, a good 2 and a bit months ago. I have to check that, don't I? But it's good fun. But far less salubrious than the river mill that you'd slept at the night before. The Cerulian House, as opposed to the illusion version of it, is a very bare and rough inn, if you could even call it an inn. A wooden shack on the edge of the forest, being used as a moonshine den for trappers and foresters, brigands and ruffians that find themselves within the forest of the Avernus. owned by a small gnome girl called Penelope. She's rough as guts, and everyone around her seems rougher still. The bare earth floors are cold. The doors don't tend to keep out the drafts. The wooden planks that have come straight from tree trunks and just roughly hewn timbers barely keep the wind out from the walls, and the shingled roof barely keeps the rain out when it rains. And so for Esmeralda, far from the Feywild now and very much within the gloom of the modern town, the modern world of the material world, for you it's been a rough night. This is not the feather-downed bedding that you might be used to as a nobility within one of the Court of the Roses. You hear the strange sounds that are alien to yourself, and the rough snores and farts of the other inn owners, the other inn guests from next door, just reminds you more and more of how you feel. So after a relatively restless night, you wake tired, grumpy, and annoyed as the first kind of rays of dawn are coming through the little slits between the planks of the tavern. And as you wake, rough, sleep encasing your eyes, you hear the sounds of hammering, of tools, of working, of workmen, of Bisbo working furiously within the main tavern hall. You don't know how long he's been up. You hear that ever familiar tink, 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 tink of him repairing, of Bisbo building, constructing something. Entering out into the main tavern hall, you see the faint suspended dust within the misty morning as the first rays of sunlight come through the windows of the tavern. None of the staff are up, just a Bisbo by the dying embers of a fire in the main hall. The table strewn with pieces of coils of spring of metal as he works furiously.
So we don't have our own rooms.
You have your own rooms, but I would have taken the opportunity, sorry, Eric, to put you out in the hall.
I think Bisbo would be in the room unless he needed the fire. He might have set up, honestly, his tent inside or something. Like he would have partitioned himself off.
Sure.
To kind of, you guys have not seen him. It's just been him, hammering away, either in his room or if that was the only kind of source of fire, I guess. He might have just even made a little tent around it or something.
Oh. Either way, you're awake, as is Esmeralda. Sure. You walk out and there's a tent around in the main hall, and you hear the sounds of tinkering and hammering from within the tent.
Esmeralda will approach the tent, quietly call out, Bisbo?
Alright. You just see it's like hammering. It's like so loud.
So draw closer and then kind of shout out, Bisbo!
Ah, what? Hello? Don't come in here!
What are you doing? It is the first ray of dawn.
Oh my god, so much time has passed. I'm still... Just come back later.
Have you slept?
What, sleeping? No, absolutely not. Too much work.
What are you doing that's so important that you can't sleep and rest?
So you're not taking a long rest, I understand?
I mean, he probably slept in fits. Nothing, not doing it, just fixing stuff, just normal cobalt stuff.
Bisbo.
Come back later.
You wouldn't be lying to your friend now, would you?
No, I'm very busy. I have to finish this. I come back later. And Godwin will kind of come out. Godwin will come out. Like, kind of make some squeak sounds. Say hello to you and then kind of pass by you and grab, like, if there's any food or water out at all?
Sure. Pitcher of water. There's probably a bit
Yeah.
of leftover cold stew that's just been coagulating on the bar. Sure.
He'll grab the cold stew like sloppily as it's going everywhere as he's trying to carry the heavy bowl over back to the tent.
Esmeralda's gonna take it off Godwin and I got this. And she comes in with the bowl and
No!
can I help?
Get out of here! He like pushes you out of the tent.
What on earth, Bispo?
I need to have secret time.
Fine, if you don't want to tell me, your dearest friend from the Feywild, what you're doing. I guess I'll just go eat breakfast alone outside.
Godwin, go keep her company. Godwin comes out and just kind of perches on your shoulder.
I got it. And Esmeralda's actually gonna just take a moment to go outside so she can actually breathe fresh air and not the stale scent of alcohol and disappointment and fart.
Outside, the transformation continues. The fresh air is beautiful, and it's quite cold in the forest. When you first arrived at this place yesterday with the illusion on it, it looked as though there was a significant road that went past this tavern. You saw that there were carriages and carts parked out the front, and now in the fresh light of day, you realise that this too was part of the illusion. Rather than a major road that runs through here, there is a single goat track that kind of meanders through. It does not look like people have come here with carts. You know, there might be an occasional horse shoe print. But what you do hear is the gurgling of the water, the gurgling of the tributary to the large river, and it's louder than you remember it yesterday. And glancing from across the way down towards the creek, you realise that the river level is up. It looks as though it must be raining heavily elsewhere. It almost looks almost as if it's flooding, but the river itself looks far more swollen than it had previously. Yesterday, when you had a swim in it to get rid of all the horrendous spray that you'd been musked on, it was a pleasant stream. It does look like it's more of a torrent today, although you don't remember it raining and you don't remember it kind of being. You couldn't hear the thunder of rain elsewhere. It's an unusual feeling as you wake.
Esmeralda's gonna kind of cross her arms, look to Godwin and ask, "Did you hear rain last night?"
Shakes its head and
You like snip some loose thread from your shirt.
I need to introduce you to my closet back in the Feywild. You would have the time of your life. Locked up.
you do look down and you're probably the most bedraggled you've ever seen. You know, the pieces of your gown, even though you dress practically, they're smeared with dirt and blood and ale and, just the various smudges of battle. You've been vaulting over bars and rolling on tavern floors and doing all those kinds of things, and you're certainly not looking as you would normally.
Esmeralda just gives out this defeated sigh and, well, so it's only a matter of time before the mortal realm made me as dull as it is. And I like this outfit too. She's gonna kind of like open the door and peek in to see if Bispo is still working or if he's paused.
There's like insane noises coming from this tent. It doesn't even seem like he could make this kind of noise. Just not jackhammering, but it's like the most frantic little hammer sounds, and there's like almost the sound of liquids being sloshed about, and there's some weird colored smoke coming out of the fire.
Esmeralda's going to give to Godwin and ask, "You don't happen to know what he's doing, do you?"
He just gives you the biggest, almost like, his little aperture eyes open up to be like puppy dog size, basically. He just stares at you blankly.
That is a very good innocent look, Godwin. A very good. She's actually going to peek him and try to outside of his banging and buzzing. Is anyone else waking up? Because this is loud, and I'm sure people who have been drinking won't appreciate that kind of noise.
The drunks probably not. Tiernan, as far as you know, continue to drink way after everyone else has gone to sleep. But surely enough, one by one, Quinn, Tismane, wake at the sounds of the construction noises and a heavily sighing Fey princess sitting by the bar waiting for friends to emerge. One by one, you get up and in the early morning light, you feel, I wouldn't say refreshed, I wouldn't say rested, but it's been a few caught, snatched hours of not fighting for your life that you haven't had in the last 24. So there is finally a sense of safety, a sense of sanctuary within this house that you haven't felt for a little time.
Oh. Esmeralda's just going to step back in, and then the tent to just say, "Do you need me to bring you anything so you can finish?"
Oh, you're talking to 10?
Yeah.
Water.
Esmeralda will go pick up the water pitcher and try to find a clean glass for him. And we'll just put the water and the glass at the entrance to the tent but not enter. And are you sure I can't help you?
No, it's fine. Everything's under control.
That doesn't sound good, Bisbo. What are you doing?
A little explosion happens. It's fine. I'm modifying my equipment. I'll be done tonight. Just give me some private time.
Bisbo, we can't stay here.
I thought we could hang out for a couple of days.
That Faye knows where we are. Do you really think they're going to sit here while Tismane's still here?
Oh God. Okay. I was going to nap, but okay, give me an hour. I just little hand starts out, grabs the glass, and then you just hear like even more frantic, like almost like it almost sounds like a power tool. His little hammering and sawing sounds.
Esmeralda's just gonna kind of look defeated and just, I can't even have a peaceful morning.
Tismane, let's get some breakfast.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
We'll be back, you two. Bisbo, keep an eye on her. Start to walk.
On me?
Doesn't respond.
Rude.
Look around the place trying to find something to grab to eat. Oh, no one else is right?
We're not eating any of this food. Let's go out and find something.
Oh. Okay.
So I'm gonna
out into the forest.
Open the door.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Stand out there.
You enter into what looks like a nice crisp morning. The sky's blue, barely a cloud in the sky, and the dappled sun from the morning sunbeams that come through the forest canopy. It is quite pleasant. You see butterflies flitting. There's a slight layer of dew on the grass around you that's just starting to kind of burn off with the morning light, and you do hear the sound of this torrential river, this small, what was a small tributary that seems to be gurgling significantly with water. As you go outside.
What do you think? Do we fish? Maybe see if we can find some small wild game out here?
Sure, we can try. Do you have materials to fish with? I'm not a particularly strong fisher myself, but
I don't think I do, but I could just throw knives at the water until something lands.
probably
joke.
better off looking for some sort of small animal.
That sounds good. Do you know of any of the local flora or fauna in the area? Anything that might
Flora or
be...
fauna I'm slightly more familiar with. I've done more foraging for berries and things like that than hunting in my time.
Let's take a quick walk then, see what we can find.
Sounds good.
How far do you travel? Are you just kind of just keeping within kind of earshot of the tavern, or are we going into the forest here?
I think,
Within
I don't think we go
visual
too
range,
far.
Okay. Make a quick survival roll, both of you. Oh, that's...
Disney, back in the house! Get back in the house, Disney! You want to each make one, or you want to...
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, both make one, or someone makes it with advantage. Yeah, both make one. Tismay's onto this. It must be a miraculous improvement in your wisdom overnight. Wow, look at that, guys. That's huge. Yeah, no problem. You spend, to be honest, a pleasant hour or so kind of around. There's rabbits to be found. There's edible mushrooms here. Even some pine nuts and bits and pieces within the forest floor. It's lovely. And for you, Quinn, I guess having been kind of marching with the army, this is something a little bit new to you, but everything that you've been trained to do starts to kick in. And Tismay, having grown up in this area, knows the different herbs, knows the different plants, knows the different methods of catching things. Laying a few snares, you're able to pick up some small game, and it's under an hour before the two of you kind of have more than enough food for all of you, probably for a few days. And it's fresh and it's nourishing and it's pure. You do get a sense that this is a lovely forest. This is kind of a healthy forest. You do see, however, though, that this river is rising. The tributary is starting to spill over its banks, and so fishing is difficult. But you're able to find some small crayfish, some small crawdads, kind of within the reaches to supplement the feast.
While this is going on, Quinn will kind of lean in, and so no early morning walks on the river.
No, not today. That's not I don't always do that. It's not like a pastime of sorts. It just happened.
Yeah.
No. No.
I could tell it doesn't like you practice a lot, to be quite honest.
I've never claimed to be the most accomplished water dancer. Something.
I bet Esmeralda dances. She probably dances all the time. Seems like that's just all gowns and... Yeah.
That would make sense. I could see that. Yes, gowns are not the most practical for...
I really don't know many manners of that dress, so...
Just the military uniform?
And leathers, mostly. I mean... It's just me and my dad, so we don't have we don't have any, female influence, really.
No events to go to or anything that would require you to...
Not unless they catch me. Dad's more into
Not
that
really
sort of thing. Yeah, that's not really my bag.
Not your scene. I understand. Similar, I'm not into... crowds aren't really my thing. Big events, dressing up, all of that.
Well, you had biggest event that town's probably ever going to see in a decade happen, so...
Yeah, that was, not ideal, is one way to put it.
How's the whole situation going on there? Sea fine and...
Oh, I didn't mention. I should have already mentioned this. You don't see the horns.
But I know they're there, don't I?
I assume they probably would have seen them at some point yesterday. I'm thinking timing wise. Yes, you should probably know that they're still there. You would have seen them at some point yesterday evening.
We've talked about the glamour that overtakes them in some variety or some timing. I don't. Yeah, maybe there's a rhythm to it.
But yeah, they are gone again. I should mention. And I should go. But yeah, what do I think about
having horns and eye thing?
It's new. For sure. Not exactly something I was asking for or looking for by any stretch of the imagination. I have no idea. I'm not sure what I think about it yet. I'm still thinking.
I think we can all relate to that in some way, shape, or form. All right.
Do you think it's as dire as Esmeralda's been putting it? Horrible hag that's trying to take me somewhere, and
I think there's a lot going on in these woods, and nothing we've encountered is as it seems. So
I would
maybe
agree
your
with that.
situation's not that much different either. You know, maybe there's something to it, but at the very least, we've been able to circumvent what this hag's thrown at us, so she's not all powerful, all knowing. So
Yeah. I'm just not sure yet. I don't know, and I would like to know.
I mean, I've never seen someone pump out so much energy and healing, as you did in the mushroom forest. So there's some good to it, at least as of right now.
Yeah, I guess we'll see.
At least you fit in. We're all a little different, it seems.
Yes.
An explosion just rips the side of the cabinet. No, I'm just kidding.
You probably do
I've
hear
never-
one final large explosion.
Oh.
Yeah, I've never met a group of people like this before.
Oh. Well, we'll figure it out, Well, there's only one way, and that's forward.
Whatever forward is.
Yeah, I don't know. One step at a time.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Let's get back to them before Bisbo.
Yeah.
Either Esmeralda kills Bisbo, or Bisbo kills both Bisbo and Esmeralda. Yeah.
Get some food.
You head back into the tavern, and still you hear the sounds of the construction going on around you, the hammering and smashing of different objects. Esmeralda, what have you been doing in this time? You've been gone for about an hour. You've just been sitting in your thoughts. Are you reaching for the moonshine at this point? It's probably around 7 a.m.
Esmeralda will actually have gotten some water and is trying to clean up her appearance, and she definitely looks distraught at the fact that she does look so tattered, because it's absolutely unbecoming of a lady, and this upsets her.
Seeing your annoyance at this, I feel like Godwin would be like, kind of make a little like almost like a confidence boosting squeak, and then just basically start like almost like doting on you, like just snipping any kind of loose fabric, sewing small holes. He's just like almost became completely obsessed now with like trying to like fix your hair a little bit, pulling out twigs, stuff like that.
The strange warped bluebirds from, what was that? Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah, exactly. A nightmare version of that. Where the metal.
Is that what Tisman and I
Just
walk into?
imagine it's just this little portable Wally trying to fix her up, and she's just accepting this because he's cute. He's won her over. And as they come in, she'll look up and, oh, hello, you two.
Good morning.
Is your hair supposed to be on fire?
No.
Esmeralda will just like put a hand up when she doesn't feel to glare at him, and she goes, "It's red, Quinn. I know you may not be used to seeing color, but it's a natural color."
Natural. Mm-hmm. Don't
See
worry,
Bisbo coming up.
you're amongst friends, and we'll just kind of slap all the goods and stuff on the table. Sorry, what was that, Eric?
Oh, I was just saying, you see Bisbo kind of appear from behind her with like measuring tape. And he has like a couple, somehow he has like some bobby pins in his mouth or something. Or where his mouth would be, just like kind of looking like a seamstress at this point.
Bisbo's doing this?
I mean, sorry, Godwin.
Godwin.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I was like, yes.
I
You've
was
been
like,
making the
huh?
dress this whole time. That's what you've been playing on there.
On that note, I would
She
think
has
it's
like-
been an hour, right? So
Yep.
on that note, I think you guys hear one final just like boosh, and some smoke comes out, and then and the tent opens, and Bisbo comes out just covered in suit. Like, water, and he like goes to the bar and grabs, I imagine, like some old beer or something.
Yep.
Takes a sip, like spits it out everywhere. Oh, it's poison. Oh, I need some
Okay.
water.
Pull out water skin, hand it to you.
Oh, thank you. Go, just downs it. You don't know where it goes in his body.
Okay. I see you managed to put your scales back in order.
Oh yes, I got the healthy dirt layer now.
Yeah. You
What's going on? What time is it?
Morning.
barely
Lots of
still.
food.
You guys got food? This food here is disgusting, I have to say. I mean, I'm used to eating
Yeah.
filth, and this is.
Is the cook up yet?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you hear the sounds of movement within the kitchen. When last you encountered the cook in the kitchen, it was an unconscious human, and you can hear the sound of movement around, joined by Penelope, the gnome tavern owner. You can hear them kind of just quietly chatting in the back. So prepare things.
Yeah, I'll just take the food back there and kind of, while they're still talking, and just give it to them and say, whip us up something, whip up the tavern something.
Sure. Penelope.
She's kind of creepy. I don't get too close to her.
She looks up as you walk in, and it's like, "How'd you sleep, love? You good?"
Slept better. How are you and everyone?
It's just relief, I've been stuck in this dream for, it felt like weeks. Feeling a lot better. Thanks for asking. Oh, it's a nice sort of grub. You do this for a living?
Yes. Find things, hunt things, that sort of thing.
You're a trapper.
So the sorts.
We never really got a chance to figure out what you lot were doing. Weird bunch you are. There's that kobold and what looks to be some kind of elf way beyond this station. I understand the peasant girl, but you're a bit weird too. You're from the city.
Me and the kobold, we're from the city, and I think the elf's an exotic dancer of some sorts from a different village, if I had to.
That's right, an exotic performer. I can see how that might work.
Yeah, she's got the form. I think that's what she does. I'm not clear on it, but we managed to go get some food, and we thought the tavern. I can't look at Taylor and talk.
Can't look at Taylor,
We thought the tavern could just use some food to kind of lifting their spirits. And
Well, this peas porridge is probably a bit more than 9 days old, if you know what I mean. Yeah, well, most appreciated. Do you mind if we just cook it up for the lot? I don't know if Keenan's up yet.
Yeah, cook it up for everyone. We don't have a ton of coin on us, so maybe this can cover the night stay and maybe another night. We're not sure how long we'll be here.
You're as welcome as long. Getting us out of that dream is most appreciative. I don't know how long we were out. Looking at the dust around this place, I normally keep a much tighter ship than this. I apologise for that.
Speaking of dust, there's going to be extra dust in the corner by the tent. we'll tidy that up, or we'll square up after we're all done and the damages have been assessed. Thank you for the
Damages.
food.
What's he doing? I heard Hammer. Now I didn't want to know.
You know what? I'll go find that out, and we'll. I'm sure it's fine. He's very, very skillful. If you need some repairs, actually, while we're here, maybe he can.
Oh, have you seen this place? Half the chairs have been broken. I don't know what happened in that fight yesterday. This whole heap of bottles broken. It needs a big cleaner. Be happy to take anything you can do to assist.
Oh, okay. I'll talk to the group and we'll see what our schedule is like. We're kind of waiting on Tiernan too. Doesn't look like he's gonna come around.
He won't be up till after lunch. No,
okay.
He doesn't rise till 1 or 2.
Okay. Well, yeah. We'll see you for lunch.
Well, hopefully we'll wrestle this up for breakfast first, eh? Bit of
Breakfast,
mushroom,
yeah.
bit of rabbit.
That
Sounds good
great.
to me.
Sounds fantastic.
Thank you, young man. Very appreciative.
Step away and return to the group.
Izzo, you've emerged from the tent?
Kind of squaring things away on my person, kind of getting all my belongings back, kind of pulling on the tent.
Yep.
I see Quinn will come in.
Yeah.
Anybody say anything? I don't know. I'm putting away my
You
stuff.
doing? You do all right? You doing
What?
all right there?
Huh? Yes. I just I'm sick of these guys getting away, so I wanted to make some modifications to my magic, my 38. Call it. I call it my 38 magic revolver. I pull it out.
Oh.
I changed the resonant crystal in one of the barrels to hopefully. No, let me. What can I shoot in here? I look around for something.
The whole party's dodging out of the way of your gun, and you just swing your gun around.
Yeah, I'm spinning it around.
Perhaps we should go outside to do target practice. Yes. Yes, that.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, outside. Yes. I just waddle outside.
It's
Is
a
anybody
beautiful
follow
day.
me, or yeah?
It's a beautiful morning.
Yeah.
Oh, we're all following you shoot this massive
Oh,
gun.
okay.
Yeah.
100%.
So you see, I kind of shift the barrel around, and usually you've seen either this kind of silver, with certain runes on the side, or red with runes on the side with kind of smoke. Now, as I flip it through the silver setting to the next barrel, new sigils. I think maybe Esmeralda might pick up on this a little bit, but there's new sigils on the side of the barrel, and white, not smoke, but frost is coming out of the top of the barrel. And as I take aim,
I'm gonna pull a
I
torch
hope
out
this
of
doesn't
my
explode.
No.
I shoot, and
Okay.
there's a squirrel in a tree. I just aim at a branch, and you hear a shh as an icy projectile comes out of the barrel and smacks this branch and kind of freezes it for a second as it then melts. I can't believe that worked on the first time.
We're all
Is that a
standing
new
5 feet away
sensation for
from
you?
Yes, usually I get a couple, face explosions and eyebrow burn-offs, but I just, that guy and the puppeteer and also the insect guy, they both did such horrible things and they got away, and I'm just really tired of this happening. That's puppeteer. I know that we don't know really what's happening with you, Litreni, but it was just that was awful. That was so horrible. I can't believe he did those things to us and to these people. And you see him kind of again, a little shiver runs through him. I never want to feel like that again.
Are you okay?
So, I'm fine. I thought I had escaped this feeling, but I guess it's just my luck to be controlled like that. What's on with you guys? What's going on? I was busy all night. What's the plan? What's the deal?
Well, if I recall, we told Tiernan everything we know. He poured boiling water into our eyes.
Oh yes, I recorded it.
That was pretty much.
I show a magical little thing that I turn, and it just shows you like,
Oh my
goodness. It's only 10 seconds, so it's basically a GIF. Like it's on repeat.
Oh, that's can I see that,
Vine,
Bisbo?
cool.
Here you go. Yes.
And I just destroy whatever it is.
I pull out another one. This is Latreni. Or no.
Tisme.
Tisme. Yeah, sorry. Tisme.
Tisme. I don't care about that.
Just watch it.
Yes?
That is. Why did you record someone's trauma like that?
For
How did you
research?
record that.
And what possible research do you wish to gain from this?
Well, he might have to cure it again if we go wandering out into the woods.
Yes. I might have to cure it. I've never seen anybody do that way, so I thought if I could study it, then I could be more useful for you guys, and you wouldn't abandon me.
Why would we abandon you?
I don't know.
As far as I can tell, you've been incredibly helpful in every single one of these situations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Your machinations have done more to help us than anything else.
Kind of puffs up his chest a little bit.
You seem really lucky too when you're firing. I don't know what it is about your.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, forget it. I don't know. It's you see him kind of look off in the distance. Again, he is like tearing up. Is there breakfast happening?
Mushroom and wild rabbit stew, if I recall correctly.
Oh my God! Never. What is this? A 4-star tavern? I've never had anything so luxurious.
Well,
Stars.
temper your expectations a little.
I mean, we just ate weird sewer fungus and rats in the sewers, and then, in the army they just give kobolds the old gruel that they would throw away. So,
How are you alive?
it's a miracle of nature. Okay, let's go get breakfast.
The meat spray, if I recall correctly, is the reason.
Oh, you're right. Oh, thank you.
Oh.
So yes, I think I have something here though. Can any of you think you could improve the recipe with me? I think I really have something here.
I think literally any of us could improve the recipe. Like anything we do to it would be an improvement.
Because I think the technology is there. I mean, I'm just creating a tiny demi-plane. Not quite a demi-plane, more like basically I'm entrapping part of reality in this reflection chamber, and it kind of condenses down whatever you put in it. So it's kind of, you can have 2 gallons of liquid in this tiny bottle.
Such an incredible piece of technology, and you're using it for a meat spray?
Meat spray.
Yes, for meat spray, for on the go. You just grab it and go, and you're ready to hit the town. Wait, James, can I invent this? I'm kind of bullshitting.
Absolutely, you can invent this.
Okay.
You're out of there. Yeah.
Okay. I think why the taste was bad is that part of this demi-plane, whatever I don't even know what it is, kind of leaked into the formula. So maybe if I had just had some better protection signals on it, then it won't. It's probably fine. We'll workshop this in the future. Let's go and get breakfast.
We'll
and I kind of
workshop it.
I kind of want to grab. Don't go for your hands, but I kind of grab you guys' shoulders, but it's kind of your middle of your backs because I'm so short.
Yep. Quinn walks away.
I reach out for Tisme. Yes?
I'm not sure if I'm going to be the one to help you. I've never cooked a thing in my life. So...
Okay, well...
Yeah, that's that.
Maybe you can help me with the magic, but I'm very hungry. Let's go get something to eat. Discuss our plans.
You walk back in once more, back into the inside, and surprisingly, you see Tiernan standing by the bar. You see that, unlike yesterday, where you saw him in his one piece with the butt flap firmly down, he's wearing what looks to be quite ornate, carved and embossed leather robes, almost like a great overcoat. But you see that they've got swirls within them. They're almost like sigils that have been kind of embellished and embossed within the leather. Around his shoulder there is a loose bag that seems to be set up to put herbs and bits and pieces. In fact, you get a very strong, almost incense, and is it patchouli, that kind of straight, that kind of very thick, fragrant herb-like smell. And he has a relatively large club that is kind of laid down on the bench. A big oaken kind of, good 4 foot long club that he's kind of just laid down there. You can see that it's very, very thick, very ancient. You can see that it has been notched by probably multiple impacts. Around his back is a shield, a wooden oaken shield that also has seemed to have seen many days of combat. And even his beard has now been plaited, so to be a little bit more practical, and his long grey hair has been knotted at the back to kind of keep it out of his eyes. You can, in this light, in the morning light, you can see that although his face is still a bit ruddy and a bit blotched, and there's some liver spots there, he's certainly looking a lot healthier than when he came out of his stupor last night. He nods to the 4 of you as you walk in. Good morning. It's nice out there, eh?
It's a beautiful afternoon. Lovely afternoon.
Lovely. Yes.
One would say.
Indeed. I heard you mulling around. I thought I'd give you some space. Appreciate what you did last night.
No problem. I guess.
I'd say the same, but pouring piping hot herb water in our eyeballs was not the type of nightcap that I'm used to.
But did you die?
Did not die.
Mind rots a bugger like that. I tell you, the only way to do it is get that boiling water firmly up in your brain. Sorry to do it, but once you've swirled it out a bit and had a bit of a go, you'll find that you'll do better afterwards. Should protect you for a while from any further infection too.
I suppose taking
Great.
frantic notes.
Well, we've got... Oh, sorry.
No.
We've got some food on the stove back there.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I think...
Nice one.
I volunteered us to do a little tidying up since we cracked the place over one or two good times, and then we'd really appreciate hearing whatever it is you know about this situation.
Yeah, it's a bit of a worry. I've had a chat with a few overnight and in the morning. Still waiting to hear back from Ren, though. I messaged her through the wolf last night. Still no response, but she'll be around. She's never too far. What I'm more interested in is you, young lady. He kind of buries a very much a firm glance at Tismay.
Me.
Well, the ex-missus sends you to me. A new hag in the making. You got all the signs. And Amwerta's back. Troubling omen. Difficult things to be dealing with. I take it you can't return to Riverbend.
No, that would not be wise at the moment. We didn't leave under the greatest of circumstances.
Tell me these circumstances.
Well, yeah, sure. So
What do you tell him?
I tell him about the ceremony. I think I've already
Mhm.
mentioned that she was a cleric in training. Oh, brother. Okay. I'll tell him about the ceremony and that it was interrupted by an attack of some sort of fey creature.
Yep.
And that things did not go as planned.
Do you describe the creature?
Yes, describe the creature for sure.
You don't talk about the mysterious figure under the tree, or the writhing worms, or the acceptance of the pact, any of that stuff.
She's not going to go into specifics. She's just going to say that like some strange things at first, at least. She'll just say, there were some strange things that happened during the ceremony, just to see if she can get away with it.
So a sealing, insect horns, plays a crazy flute.
Mm-hmm.
Real douchey.
The river. Did the river do anything? Is there a flood? Is there water?
At the event.
The
No,
trees.
not in
Did the trees move? Did the roots move? Did they grasp?
No water, no trees. To my no, okay. Holding that information is not a good idea. Okay, she Tismate will reluctantly elaborate a bit more about some of the things that happened leading up to it, about the worms in the ground moving, and about the strange figure coming out of the crowd. She'll specify.
Was she?
Yeah.
But not mishappen. Big hump on her back, staggering around. You'd know her if you saw her. She's huge, 6.5 foot tall, leans on a heavy cane.
That's not who. I didn't see anyone that fits that description.
The toads. The toads are underground. A Muerta, she's a tricky creature, but she's bestial. From a swamp, from the forest, she draws the power from the land itself.
Other than the ceiling and the smaller creatures that also tried to grab me, I saw worms coming up from the ground.
Could be an illusion. Doesn't sound
That was
right.
only momentary. It wasn't. That was only momentary compared to the whole encounter we had with the other creatures. What you're describing is not what we experienced. This description of Muerta, not to my knowledge or recollection. Is that how she usually appears?
Yeah, hideous bitch creature of a thing. Bloody hard to kill. Really hard to kill. We only just got her last time. Can't believe she's back. Trembana and her husband Jessic. They never returned, They were our best friends. They gave their lives to get rid of her. Gave their lives to banish her within the forest. Gave their lives to close the portal. To seal her off, to seal her back where she'd come from.
So, with Tremanda, since she was a prominent scholar on the Shadow Court, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's why we're here.
So, and Huerta is part of the Shadow Court.
As far as we're aware. one of the hags, one of the followers of Gladrienne, mistress of the court of Midnight Teeth.
Gladrienne. I like flip through a book from like Drake's notes. Was there any reference to this?
Arcana roll.
Okay. I use my thing?
Yep.
Okay. Now I press the left button? Yeah.
Yeah?
Right?
Yep.
Both buttons?
Yeah, sure. If in doubt, press all the buttons.
It's all the buttons. Got it. Skills. Arcana.
Didn't do it. Okay. Let's roll another d6. Oh no, you've got extra 6. Why didn't it do it?
That's my... I'll roll d6. Okay, 15.
No reference for a 15, I'm afraid. No, that's news to you.
Is this the leader of the Shadow Court?
Esmeralda's gonna rack her brain. That name sounds familiar to her somehow.
Yep. All yours.
Arcana roll.
Would
that be for...
Or history, whichever you choose.
Oh, same.
A 20 will do it. Philomara Gladrienne is one of the Archfey. So she's one of the Shadow Court, the mistress of the Court of Midnight Teeth. Particularly nasty piece of work that helps support hag magic. You are aware of mortals, human mortals, entering into pacts and agreements with these Archfey to assist them with gaining powers in the mortal realms. Something that you would never consider, and something that your superiors would never consider. Some of the more unscrupulous Shadow Fae would enter in with pacts with mortals, enter into these agreements that more often than not were skewed into trickery, so that the mortals themselves weren't really understanding what they were getting themselves into. Philomara Gladrienne.
I can't wait to tell you later how I spelled that.
So we have a hag that is subordinate to a Shadow Court noble. And this hag is trying to create a coven in this area. While the Shadow Court themselves have been kidnapping people of all sorts on this side.
And they've
and
they've had numbers joining willingly from ours.
Recruiting one from yours. So whatever power play they're doing, it seems almost of a vital importance almost that since all these other Fae have been coming at Tisme, that this coven be created here. What do I know about coven magic and what's coven influence in the material plane?
Arcana, do it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a low one.
Okay, I'll roll my d6 separately this time.
Yeah, that's cool.
So 19.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, you're aware that covens are groups of hags, generally women, who combine their magics together to extraordinary power.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as solos, they're difficult to battle. As a trio or more within a witch's coven, within a hag's coven, significant power. You're aware that a baby is being kidnapped, and that the third would be Tisme. So whatever Amorta's doing, she's trying to get 3 hex witches together.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but it's generally kind of hard to go between planes. Like, it was a big effort for Esmeralda, right? That you described to us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Esmeralda, there are ley lines and there are portals, which are gateways between the Feywild and the material plane. Once you know where the Fey roads are, and you've got and generally you kind of almost attune to them, so that you've got the ability to skip between roads. So Esmeralda would know this. So where she entered was a known Feytouched, a known road between worlds. So if you know where they are, you can use them. Most mortals don't know where they are. Someone like Quinn can find them.
So, with how you traveled here, can any number of Fae travel through, or is it restrained by how many?
No, any number of Fae could travel to and from. It's just, why would they?
There's stories of ruler of the kingdom taking hundreds of people through these roads to escape bloodshed.
Your kingdom?
If I recall correctly, James, from my light readings, the current empress was, before her coma, was famous for using some of these back doors. If that's
so what
not...
you're aware is, in past times, in fact, Kiernan will tell you, hundreds of years ago, 400 or 500 years ago, when the She abandoned the forest, when they fled to the Summerlands, they did it through the Feytouched. They did it through the ley lines. When the young empire was still just a kingdom, they didn't know what they were doing, invaded into these places. Yeah. The Empress withdrew to Raywald, using the ley lines, using the Fey roads to travel.
Are there not hags in the Shadow Court now, or do they have to be created from mortals? Do I know that, or is that something I can ask, I guess?
From what we could tell, there are hags. They don't particularly like each other. There are those hags that will work with others, there's those hags that won't. Generally, the ego of the grand hags are that they like to create their own little circles, recruit others to do their bidding.
I just
Grand
find
hags of the Archfey are powerful beings. We know of others. Jenny Greenteeth, Amurta was one of the bigger ones.
Jenny Greenteeth.
They're petty. They're petty. They don't work well.
Dated a girl back in the kingdom, that name.
What's that? You dated a girl back in the kingdom of that.
Just joking.
I do think it's too much of a coincidence that while the Shadow Fae are making movements in the kingdom and in the countryside, we also have this hag trying to create a coven here. And it seems like if this hag is under this other Shadow Fae, that's subservient. Yes, thank you. I'm drinking beer. I drink beer again and spit it out all over somebody.
I'm cleaning in the background, so I look down as you spit it back on the ground, and I fucking clean it again.
That's they need coven magic specifically for something. Maybe as part of an invasion, or it has to be different from normal Fey magics that they've applied so much, not just force but also magic. I mean, those swan feathers were not just everyday, tracking. These were powerful magical items that they used to track Tisme. Yeah. So I think there's a deeper connection here that goes back, and I think there's much more manipulation happening here than just a hag wanting to create a coven. I truly believe that these are completely interconnected with the kidnappings in the great cities. And that there's something specific about hag's coven magic that only they can do, that all these force is being applied to it.
Now the kingdom
If this Archfey...
Say now the kingdom sent, 100 soldiers to come and just investigate the forest as well?
Whatever this archfey is doing, it's not good.
Never bloody is.
No, but to involve mortals in a ritual, we could be looking at another grab for ultimate power, if not a complete destruction of the summer courts. Even the new winter court.
All I can say is we fought a Muerta by herself. They took 2 of us. Took their lives. If she's growing in power, if she's come back, and she's looking at establishing a coven here, and that's a whole other nightmare. It's a nightmare that will enslave the forest themselves. You say there were other Fae. These creatures have followed you through the portal, but black other things at your ceremony. Try to grab you, take you to the river.
Yes.
Doesn't bode well.
Doesn't bode well. We've been hunted by 4 different types of Fae since then. Sure as hell doesn't bode well. There's a creepy crow.
4 different types.
There's a creepy crow. There was a weird puppet guy. But
No, you just remind me. I was wondering if we're still carrying the eggs from the crow.
honestly, I thought about serving them up for breakfast this morning, but I choked that thought down.
Don't you dare.
Yeah. And
It's a visual aid, I guess. If we're still carrying them, we can show them, as you say. We fought a crow. It's like, oh look, yeah, we also kept the eggs.
Some eggs.
But yes, the crow, the ceiling, the
Puppet. Yep.
puppet master.
the mushroom things were definitely from the Fae.
Oh, I would be so sure.
No.
This forest
That
has
one
just got
didn't-
fungus in it.
The T-Rex. Definitely from the
Dinosaur lion.
definitely from the Fae.
Ah, doubt it. It's more like a
No,
beast, I think. I've
I'm
seen it
positive.
around.
I'm positive.
Because that was
Well,
the
right-
one that
Okay.
didn't-
Are you going to be convinced that every bad thing that happens to you is going to be up Fae?
I'm gonna play the odds. And so far I'm ahead, I think.
I would say that while the others specifically mentioned being of the Fae or being sent by Omerta, the mushroom mind rot creature was not one of those, nor the dinosaur lion.
Perhaps.
I know it has a real name. I'm just gonna call it a dinosaur lion.
What? Wait, I don't even know what the real name was.
Yep. Dinosaur line works perfect.
Ceropod, I think.
Yeah, it begins with an
That's
S. I remember
the
that.
old Elvish.
Anyway.
Have we gotten our
Till-
food yet, by the way?
Sure. Yeah, the
Okay.
food comes out. Hopefully feeds everyone. We can continue this over breakfast. It's delicious. They've done a great job. Fresh rabbit, fresh mushroom, fresh herbs. Very nice.
Mm.
Well, I'll be waiting for Ren. I think we should be safe for now. Nothing that I could see around in the few miles around from here. I'll go out on another patrol shortly. I don't know how long I've been out. But Ren will know what to do. She's been chasing that baby since it came out of her grasp. In the undergrowth willow a month ago. She'll still be searching for it.
Hopefully she finds something.
Rin is the. I'm sorry. Quick recap. Rin's not Tismay's.
Romilly.
That's Romilly. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no.
Rin was the other.
Beerbow, yeah.
Right. Ranger?
Yep.
Okay. Is it normal you haven't heard from Rin in a while?
Oh, I'm not sure how long I've been gone. I sent out messages. Hopefully they'll get to her soon. Imagine we'll get to her tonight. One thing we should be prepared to do, though, one thing we should be prepared to understand, help won't be coming for this. Romilly and Digby maybe, but I doubt that the forces of the army will come and help. They're more than likely to lock me and you up than they are to help us. They've got cold iron, and they think nothing of Faye imprisoning them, taking what they need. If Umwerta's back, I can't imagine we're going to get much help. And if she's back, she'll just be building in power. She'll just be getting stronger. If she can't take you, she'll find another. She'll find another one to make the coven complete. But they'll keep trying for you. So we have a couple of choices. We can stay here, we can defend. They'll be back for sure. Try and find Umwerta themselves. We can disrupt the ritual. Go back to town and throw ourselves at the mercy of the kingdom, the army, and their ignorance.
Or we go to the summer court. Now that we know, perhaps they'll be willing to give us more of a hand. Disrupting their way of life, magic, all of this.
The to the summer court
Yes.
in the Fey Wild.
Yes.
Doesn't sound like a good idea.
With Bisbo?
With Pisco.
I mean, I don't.
And
Whoa, that don't.
and what idea would you have, Quinn? Your kingdom would lock me up and use my powers to further their expansion.
Do I know anything about that? What happens if they come across Fae?
Probably not. I mean, you've studied Fae, you've located them, but you wouldn't be aware of. Maybe you would. I'm not sure. What do you think? Would you have come across a rumor here or there, perhaps? You know that the army's looking for weapons. You know that they're looking for weapons to fight against the war in the east. What they would do with Fae.
Yeah, I don't know what they would do to create those weapons. You know, I would just assume that they're actually looking for weapons, I think. Very naive. But
sorry, go on. I was gonna say, James, would I actually have an idea from where I was from? Okay.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Look, history rolls for both, but the DC's high, if that helps.
I don't think I want to know the answer. I'm trying to figure out if he would have any clue. Like, so Quinn's gonna take a defensive sort of like position in this conversation, right? Like he's gonna challenge Tyrion on this concept of like, why would we shackle Fae?
I'm not doing that effect. It's weird, but that's a natural 20. That's a 26 plus a D6. You want to roll the D6 to see if we can get above 30. Almost 29.
Now, do you remember specifically like where part of my story was when? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the 10 pages. Which page number was it?
It wasn't that long.
I was over the 10 pages.
Yeah, I shortened it this time.
Let me have a look. Let me have a think of this.
Okay.
Esmeralda,
I feel like even if I don't
keep talking. Let me have a
okay.
think.
Esmeralda, why would we shackle you? We're here to help. I mean, granted, you're not really a villager in this area, but I mean, the army, they're only protecting their borders. They're not slavers. I don't think. That I don't know either, but we're gonna say that.
Esmeralda is just going to look to the Tyrannin and just, it's what he said. That and, well, why is your army approaching villages close to the woods where we once were?
Why are you investigating villages close to the woods where we once were? It seems like we're both after the same thing. something is happening in this forest, and we have a duty to protect those near us.
Question: is your army capable of dealing with the Shadow Court?
Don't know much about the Shadow Court, but we've been relatively capable, the two of us, in helping deal with the Fae. Granted, you and Tismay have been extremely helpful, but imagine 10, 20, 30, 40 of us.
10, 20, 30, 40 liabilities.
The Shadow Fae don't operate how normal armies do. They have magics, horrible, shadowy magics of infiltration and stealth in disguise. They would not fight arrayed in a shield wall. They would fight in the night, as they've been doing, Queen. They've been kidnapping people and assassinating them. And I don't know, James, have you come to a conclusion at all? Or?
No, just finish it. You finish it there. You finish it there. Okay. Yeah.
I was gonna elaborate some more, so I'm not sure if I.
Sure. You are aware of rumours of talk of Fey magic being worked into weaponry, into the steel and into the armour of the armies around Hirschberg. In particular, there is a place called the Shrine of Blades, which is a shrine to Donar, god of war, and the clerics of the Shrine of Blades have been rumoured to extract Fey magic from captives and instill that into the weaponry. So you would know that. You've spent some time in Hirschberg, didn't you?
James flipped it on you. So you asked him a question about your backstory.
I don't know. I didn't spend that much time in Hirschberg. I was in Wallenberg and then I went to Salzbeck. But I think part of it also, James, is just that like I've seen their kind of drive for weaponry.
Yep.
Probably more than most. Seen the actual like real like drive that they have, and just knowing that they would. I think if you're thinking like just knowing that they would kind of do anything and kind of at this point the desperation. So I'll say, as I say, they would use stealth and deception. And Quinn, I don't know what kind of experience you've had with the army, and so I'm not actually officially. I've seen and heard deeper things than you, and they would. I am absolutely sure they would kidnap Esmeralda, and maybe even Tismay, and they would try to extract their magics from them. I've heard of places that do this, and I've seen the drive. Our war with was it the East? Our war in the East?
Krakow.
Our war in the East.
The War of the Ghouls. Yeah.
Is more desperate than you think. The military command and the Artificers Guild is in. I don't think they would go for any length now to find new weapons. And they would absolutely abuse these ladies. I'm about to say dames, these women, and use them for their magics. I'm sure of this. I know you have adverse reactions, and it scares me to even think about going into the Feywild, but honestly, I don't know who else can help us and can really, if Esmeralda thinks they will listen to us, it's more than the army can do. They don't know how to deal with this kind of threat. I've
been in there once. Once I went into the Feywild. It is not a place to be messed with. No offense. They are tricky buggers. They'll mess with your mind. They'll change your opinion. You enter into an agreement with them and you never come out.
Oh.
They don't consider time the same way we do. Look what's just happened to me. I could have been here for months. They have...
Unless you know where you're going. That, and I'm of the Summer Court. I am one of them. I have hope. Should be enough. As long as we stick the path home, it should be enough. The Feywild are dangerous to those that aren't familiar with it, but I am. My home.
Quinn's gonna roll an insight check, not to, because I believe every character here is telling the truth. I'm just curious to know if how much Quinn believes, and or how if he's even kind of just biting in on the whole story. He trusts Bisbo, but I don't know if he's actually. All right, well, drat. Okay.
I think everyone that you're speaking with is earnest.
Yeah.
They believe what they're saying, but it's all true. It's yes, the Summer Court can help. Yes, they're entirely untrustworthy and can get you into servitude for the rest of your life. Yes, the Kingdom are probably extracting magic out of the Fae to assist them in the war. But it's up to Quinn, really, which way his decision on that.
Yeah, that's kind of why he trusts Bisbo more. So the fact that Bisbo is telling him things, I think you kind of see him take less of a defensive stance and kind of relax, and he's just kind of lost in the thought of now he's replaying everything that he's seen over the past couple of days, maybe even months, in a different lens. So he's kind of quiet.
Tell me, Princess, what would the Summer Court do with this one? Then he points to Tisme.
I'm not sure. That's the only thing that gives me pause. I'm not sure what they do. But Tisme has fought and has not gone with them willingly. And I think that'll count for something. That and Tisme, did you fully understand what you were agreeing to when this happened?
I didn't make an agreement. As far as I know, not in the way you've been describing.
The mortals here have forgotten the rules the Fae taught them so long ago. We gave up these lands to them. And this is a reminder as to why we need to keep that relationship strong. Tisme is a shining example of our failures.
Such a great way of putting it.
I've heard worse.
I'm not saying anything poorly about Tisme. This is on us. We should have been maintaining this. The old legend should have never died with you. Or died amongst all of them. Whatever.
Was it the job of the Fae to babysit the mortals and make sure they continue to follow the old ways?
It's probably best if we at least had reminders. Because if we don't, things like this happen. Those who may not understand what they're getting into get pulled into things they may not fully want.
Well, that trait's not unique to the Feywild, so.
No.
No, that's right, brother. It is not. I tried to drink another slice of beer. Oh, God.
If Tiernan mentioned time not working the same there, things being different, I worry. Yes, they're after me, but if they could find someone else, if Omerta could find someone else, is the risk of going to the Summer Court, if these are tricky creatures, I know they don't like the Shadow Fae, but are we risking by going there and asking for their aid, allowing Omerta to get to a certain level of power where things become a lot more difficult? Should this... How urgent? This seems to me to be something that... I don't know. I just worry.
Perhaps I haven't made this clear. The Summer Court is my home. My family is amongst the Court of Roses. So, while I understand that we have some records with the Fae, that is essentially my family and those I've met with. And anyone might understand what Omorta and the Shadow Fort are doing. They may be able to help and at least point us in a direction we can go. If we go to the kingdom, we risk us just being taken away.
Oh, I definitely don't want to go to the kingdom.
No, that is a hard no on that one.
Sorry,
But the
Glenn.
summer court.
There's only one way forward. Then we can't stay here and risk the lives of the people here at the inn just because we're scared to move forward. So lead the way.
I think we were gonna wait for this Ren, right? Have more information.
Well, we can. I can send a message. We can meet somewhere else. The question is where would we go? If she's building, I know where she'll be. We dealt with her last time. She'd
Where
be
would
using
she
the
be?
same ruins. She'd be using the same ruins. The barrows of the kingdom from 500 years old. Further upstream, we follow the river.
We are level 4 now, Tyrion, so we probably can handle this, whatever you're about
I
to
think
take
this
us
is a
to.
level 5 level.
No. Can we zigzag? Can we zigzag there, Tyrion, and maybe hit a couple more experience points?
Well,
Or
I
just
know
keep
of
hunting.
these other little side quests that you might want to do before you.
Is there any milk jugs that need to be delivered maybe across town?
That's right.
We'll just keep hunting rabbits. We'll farm rabbits here for years until we're ready.
One thing you are aware of, Quinn, is that you know that there's no Fey portals within a mile. You have had that sense of the ley lines, like at the end of last session, where you were looking out beyond to get a sense of where this was going. The ley lines, as you would be aware, would be following that river. So where he's suggesting you travel where she would be, sounds like it'll be on a ley line to you.
Well, so what's the plan? Are we waiting or?
No, I don't think we should remain. We also risk Omorta sending more.
Okay. I kind of look at. So the druid is just hanging out here.
I'm happy to patrol. I don't think there's anyone around us. And if you scared off that puppeteer, it might be some time before she recuperates, but who's to know? You spoke to her last night, did you not? And he pointedly looks at Esmeralda.
I did. She wanted to speak, but I'm not sure where her magic is now, but she did confirm her.
Did you think she's coming?
No. I have the sense that she's biding her time. She wants to see what this makes do.
Or maybe it's over to Tismo then. He locks his gaze at you in that kind of uncomfortable, complete kind of, searching your face, trying to get a sense of how legitimate you've been to him. You know what I mean? This is him checking for ticks and tells, and you get that sense that you've not allayed his suspicions at all. Yeah.
Yeah. Tisney will definitely squirm under his gaze. I'm honestly not sure what we should do. But if she wants to speak with me,
Or you give her a taste of her own medicine. Disney, you use that wand and you keep her you keep leading her on. If we can get her to waste time to wait to think that you're coming, that you're in a state of indecision, perhaps we can save her from picking another person.
I could try. I've never been the most persuasive person, but
Really?
Are you?
Yeah, he said it to you honestly, like he's looking right at you. Like,
no.
It's like cobalt doe eyes. Really?
yeah, really?
You don't need to be persuasive. You are still unsure now of what is happening to you and what you want from them, correct?
Yes, I'm not. I am unsure.
That's all you need to put forward in those in the small bits of time that you talk, that you communicate. Just put that unsurety and indecision to every word, and let her bide her
Want me to
time.
speak to her?
As much as I don't like it, maybe few ways you can get her to stop moving forward with another poor soul who would become one of her five. It is up to you, but it may also be a chance for you to get questions of your own.
That's true.
I genuinely can't tell when Tisme or Latrini is confused. Is undecisive. I
Both
think
of us
they're
are
one and the
stressed.
same. I think they're one and the
Both
same.
are very stressed.
If they're not, you're an incredible actor.
Well, just in case it's both, why don't we have a little break? Let's have a little 5-minute break.
Okay.
We'll have a drink, and that way Latreni / Tisme can figure out what that was. We can come back with an answer.
Beautiful.
So we'll be back in 5 minutes, folks. We'll see you
Okay.
then.
Don't go anywhere.
Woo!
3, 2, 1. We're live. We're back.
And we are back. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Feytouched. A little game about Dungeons and Dragons and about Feywild and about witches and hags and fairy princesses and strange rangers and kobolds and robots.
It's my backstory. The fairy princess. It's in my backstory. So stay tuned.
Right.
We got
It's the
a
slow build.
big pot.
It's the slow build.
Yeah, Jared is a slow build. That's right. This is where he rips off. It's Mr. Weatherby. It's been me all along.
It's been me all along.
I am a muerta. I am actually a hag. That'll be awesome.
Oh no.
No, maybe not. So, welcome back. When last we left, Tisme was having a crisis of confidence about whether she was going to contact the evil hag Muerta to try and I'm not 100% certain of the actual details of the plan.
I don't think any of us
lull
are.
her
Plan?
into some
Plan?
just to talk to a hag.
Yeah.
Is there a plan?
No, never.
Excellent. So, as we rejoin our adventurers in the mid-morning, a breakfast is concluded within the Cerulian House, the tavern in the middle of the woods. Tiernan, the druid, his eyes searching Tisme's face for answers and for assurance that she isn't actually evil and isn't a hag herself. He still does not seem convinced about what's going on here, but happy that at the end of the day, it'll be you that'll take the lead. We are certain that if Tisme is to return to the village in her current form, the army will be looking for her. We're not certain about what would happen if Tisme went through a Fey portal to the Summer Courts. We're certainly not certain what happens if Tisme ends up in the clutches of Muerta the Hag. So as the last of that kind of morning light comes through and you hear the sounds of crickets start to emerge from outside as the forest heats up. Tisme, what do you do? Are we pulling out the Wand of Whispers? Is that the plan?
Yes, Tisme's going to pull out the wand for the first time today. Yeah, hold it in her hands for a second. And just everyone's still around, right? Like this is the same moment we're all just kind of sitting here staring at me. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dope.
Unless
Okay.
you need the privacy of Bisbo's tent, or I'm not sure how that works. Nope.
No, she'll just say, I guess we're contact Omerta.
The Wand of Whispers looks like a long extended candle, like a long. It's not a tapir is the pig from South Africa. What am I thinking of? The long candle.
Like an
Never mind.
aardvark?
No, there's an actual word for anyway. There's a long thin candle where at the handle of the wand there are 4 small bird skulls that kind of radiate out from this bone-like handle. So from anyone that looked from a distance, this looks like a normal kind of single candelabra really, but you're aware that there is a joint. You light the wick at the end of the candle and immediately it bursts into this very faint, a very noticeable blue flame that kind of illuminates the room, casting it in a very pale blue glow. And then it's really a case of just whispering in to the skull of what the message that you wish to send. Now, sending is the spell that you'll be doing, so you have 25 words in which you can respond in kind. And the wand has 7 charges, of which 3 charges are used every time you use sending. So effectively, you can make 2 messages a day.
So yeah, so Tisme will bring the wand close to her lips, and she'll say,
Wayne pulls out a dagger.
she'll say,
Sorry.
I pull out my magical detection thing and I'm tuning it.
awesome. Omerta, you've been looking for me. What do
7.
you want from me? I'm counting 2, cool.
Okay.
I I think we all are.
17?
I'm just giving you 2 thumbs up.
Sounds about right.
Yep. 17, 17.
I said, what do you want from me? Where are you? Why the interest in me?
Nice one. There's a slight pause and a whisper. You were promised at birth. The Queen, Magic and Shadow, gave you to me. Meet me at the barrow, where the dead soldiers lie.
She'll put the wand back down. And she'll say to Tiernan, you were right. She seems to be at the barrows, as you mentioned.
You spoke. She said something back.
Yes, she did. She wants to meet, which we already knew, I guess. She said at the barrows where the dead soldiers lie.
The old portal.
I asked her why she was interested in me. She said I was promised at birth.
Your mother.
She said Sarastra gave me to her. My mother, you said?
So, you said promised at birth. Wouldn't that be your mother?
That would make sense. My mother's never mentioned anything, although I don't imagine you would mention something.
Oh, did I ever mention I
Exactly.
gave you to it?
In casual conversation, yeah.
Pretty girl.
She didn't mention my mother though. She mentioned Sarastra. Are you? Sarastra gave me to her.
Srambana studied Sarastra. Most of her magic's service. Digby was here, he'd tell us more. If Digby was here, he'd tell us more.
Right, we never got to see him in the village.
Could we have Bigby meet us? Is this urgent? Huh?
How'd we contact him? I don't know Digby, do I?
Yeah, you would have met Digby. He's a villager.
Oh.
He's the hedge magician from the town. He might not have had much to do with him. He's a bit of a scholar. He's a scholar of astronomy, and tended to just hang out in his tower in the village. He wouldn't have had a lot to do with him.
If
Digby has the books from. Right, has Tremanda's books.
Yep.
Yes, Digby.
If that wand can talk to a Muerta, can't it talk to Digby?
Yes, I believe so.
Can it?
I mean, based on the spell, yeah. Side note.
This changes some things, though. This means that there's, to point earlier, there's someone manipulating you. Someone using you to their own ends.
This is
Sorry, but
this is difficult because in order, your mother didn't. She told you that. Has she ever said anything in passing about you being a gift to her, something like that?
Did my mother say that?
Yes. I'm just wondering if you were placed in her care by Sarastra.
Not specifically. It wasn't something that my mother said. I was never quite her favorite anyways. There was so many kids underfoot.
When did you first see Sarastra? Do you remember how old you were?
I was young. In my teens. Early. It's been years.
And were you always drawn to this sort of darkest hour night, even as a child? You never were scared of the dark, or?
Not particularly. To be fair, again, I had a big family. Yeah, people were always up. I'm used to being up early in the morning and all of that with work, and it was the only time that I could have any space to myself. So it wasn't unusual.
You never had a fear of the darkness. That's natural among children.
Well, it's natural, yes, to fear the dark, but that wasn't something in particular. I found that most everyone else feared the dark, so there was never much in there for me to be afraid of, if that makes sense. There's no one else around.
Huh?
And I was curious about why everyone was afraid of it.
There you go.
There's much to be discovered there.
Based on what she's saying, Esmeralda is going to just kind of look this way over and, oh no, she's never sensed Fey magic in this state before, so there's not a chance she could be a changeling. This is beyond my understanding, at least.
Sounds like we need this Digby character.
Right.
I can speak with them, but our contact is limited. There's only so much information that we'll be able to get.
Can anyone cast the spell?
It mechanically requires attunement to the object, so it'd take some time. You'd be passing it over.
You know Digby? Tismay?
Yes, I've met him. We're not close or anything, but yes.
I thought perhaps
you think
Tyrion...
he would come? Tyrion?
Do I think he would come here?
No, I'm asking. Tyrion knows him, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Would he come if we kind of gave him... Well, what should we say to get him out here?
Do you have an old meeting spot? Somewhere perhaps we could rendezvous outside the village that would be a little closer to him?
Tell him
What
Trumbana's
about
back.
here?
Tell him Trumbana's back. That would be
So
enough.
so a message like
Muerta's
Hermana's-
back, not Trumbana. Muerta's back.
I was like,
And
oh,
Muerta's
this is
back.
interesting.
So something like a Muerta's back, meet at whatever spot. Bring all of Tremana's books. And then what else?
Covenant chill.
Covenant chill, yeah.
Never mind.
Anything other pertinent to add, or like, hey,
Romilly
this is
said she was-
Tisme. Yeah.
Romilly said she'll be meeting us, didn't she?
No.
No.
She told us to meet this
No.
this fine, upstanding gentleman.
He looks like Thor from Endgame, like trying to dress up in his act like so
Yes.
massive and like so messily bearded and like just disgusting.
I've kind of got an 80-year-old dude from The Big Lebowski in my mind. You know, it's kind of like it's just slovenly, but also
Right. So where should we meet? Should we meet here? He knows this place, right? Is there another place that we can meet?
We meet on the road to the Barrow. Depends where we go. Can we?
Would he know where the Cerulian Inn is?
Yeah, everyone knows where the Cerulian Inn is. It's where we used to respite. We can get
Maybe
him
we
to
should
meet us.
Perhaps.
Meet here.
Mm-hmm.
Muerta's back, meet the Cerulean Inn, bring Trembana's books.
This is Tisme, I think, first. Kind of. You just hear the random
Tiernan.
voice. Yes. This is Tisme with Tiernan. This is Tisme with Tiernan.
It's so tempting to do the syllables, but you're not. Yeah.
Why? I was
Yeah,
gonna say, why
I
are you
tried to
counting
do-
on your fingers? It's just.
That's
Are you aware of the?
Huh?
Just
Well,
like
he
that-
is actually, because he's the one that did identify, so he would be aware.
Oh, it's
of
true,
the-
yeah,
the
you'd be
ability
aware.
to communicate.
Yeah,
You also only have like 3 fingers, so you're.
Muerta's
This
back,
is Tisme.
I have 4
and
fingers.
at Cerulean Inn, bring
This
Trembana's
is-
books.
Bring Tremana's books. Anything else we need? Like, I'm kind of low on supplies. Like, I don't know, maybe some jerky or some. I could use some ingots
equip?
of some sort, like
Or-
some iron and copper ingots. If you
Or-
can spare
Or
any.
tell my family I'm okay. Maybe is a more. No. Okay.
That's
Can you fit that in?
okay. No, so
I-
this. Meet at Cerulean Inn.
maybe
Bring Tremana's
dodge,
books.
dodge the guards. I mean, we don't want the entire.
Yeah, dodge the fuzz.
We don't want the entire army following him here.
I'm gonna say don't be followed.
Just good advice in general, I think.
Yeah, in general,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
like who chooses to be followed.
Hey, follow me!
Oh, actually, though, if I do remember a case, Drake told me about the case where he got the guy to follow him.
Mhm.
It was a lady, it was a dame. I just want to say, it was a dame to follow him knowingly. So then he like turned the tables around in a dark, dusky bar, hole in the wall, and he said they had a hot night or whatever that means. But
We're losing. I think we're losing focus here.
What?
I think we need to.
oh, okay.
So
All right.
so
Send the message. Yes.
so Digby, yeah.
Doing it? Lighting the candle once more?
Is
the
there
candle
anything else?
gets- Sorry.
I'm only up to 17 words. So is there anything else that anyone would like me to convey? We're good.
Bring some copper ingots.
I'm not gonna say that. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay. Okay.
Okay.
Be chill.
So Tisbe just gonna light the candle again.
Yep.
Focusing on Digby this time.
Yep.
Yeah, bring it up to her lips and whisper. This is Tisme with Tiernan. Omuerta's back. Meet at Cerulean Inn. bring Trembana's books. Don't be followed. Please and thank you.
Nice. It's a good touch.
Oh.
Yeah, it's better.
Not bad. Not bad,
Nope.
Latrine.
Polite message.
No copper ingots. That's okay.
No
It's fine.
comment.
It's fine.
I feel like we're already asking a lot of him. It's just,
Out of the blue too. Like
yeah.
You hear it whispered again. Very interesting. Really. Most concerning. The army is watching the village very closely. Are you really a witch? Everyone thinks you're a witch. I can come later tonight.
Okay, I'll convey all of that to the group.
Okay. Well,
not a bad round. We talked to a immortal hag and the town mage, scholar, whatever he is.
Sage.
Right. Say.
So we
yeah, go on.
hold up here for the day.
I guess
Yes.
Wait for rain.
So you put on some happier music.
Sure did.
It's like change the mood up.
Anything else?
Bring that bard back.
That's what,
No,
that's all
not
I
the
want.
bard. Anything but the bard. So, I wasn't completely honest with you, Esmeralda, about what I was doing in the tent. I mean, I did change my gun, but
Pervert.
what? Anyways, I don't know, you guys, like, we only known each other for a short time, but I feel like we've been through a lot together, and you guys said you wouldn't abandon Bisbo. You've been nice to Bisbo. You've complimented Bisbo. God, I'm so nervous. How you see, like, Godwin come down and, like, try to be like a service dog, you know, like calm him down.
What is Goblin? I
Alright.
pictured the things from Fallout 4. Like the little like.
A little bit like an
medical
iBot.
thing.
It's kind of like an iBot. Think of like Wally. Think of like kind of like a spider Wally with a little like a helicopter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's right. I forgot about the helicopter thing. Okay.
Okay, you're right. So I actually made you all something. I don't know if you want it, but he's like so nervous. You guys can it's almost painful and awkward. I mean, I'm sure Tyrion, I don't know if Tyrion is either completely ignorant of the fact or it's just kind of awkward that he's there, but he made you all bracelets to wear. Would you like to see them?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
I think Quinn goes to say no, but then like Tismay jabs him in like the ribs.
Okay.
Yes, but I don't think I know you that well. But
not. Oh God, this guy. Okay, I didn't make one for you. I didn't know you, and you seem. Give it a solid 30 days. Okay. I pull out from like my little satchel inside a small, just kind of like just a little like a satchel that's wrapped, and I hand it. I go, here, Tismay, this one's for you.
Thank
And
you.
and Godwin comes out and he's playing his little fanfare music. There's a little like twine tie around the satchel. Do you open it?
Oh, I was going to wait till other people.
No, I'm giving
Unless
you
you're-
two. I'm just staring at you.
Oh, okay.
He's
If you're
waiting,
staring at
he's
me, then
looking.
yes.
Yeah.
So kind of just sit there and guess like slowly, I guess go and pull open the twine and unwrap it.
So as you pull the twine and, yeah, exactly. So Final Fantasy music comes out as
Level 5.
you pull the twine and it opens, you see a very intricate, dark stained copper bracelet. Not big, but not small either. It's in this kind of, the outline is this dark stained copper. There's a cutout piece on the inside with silver inlays, almost like there's two bracelets in one, with a track in the middle of this silver inlay. And it's of a woman dancing under the moon. And around the bracelet is like a different silhouette of this woman dancing. And so you're seeing this, do you put it on, or?
Right now, she would just be looking at it, but if you keep staring at her, I was gonna say, then she will slowly go, put it onto her wrist.
So as you put it on, you feel almost there's a little bit of movement to it, and Bisbo comes over very excited and goes, "So it's a I know how you love dancing, and it's something. Even though there's some weird hag stuff going on with it, I think you just look so happy. So I wanted to make this for you." And he gets out is there like a candle? And it's kind of dark in here, right, James?
We use the wand.
Yeah.
We use the wand.
So he kind of pulls out a candle and kind of grabs your wrist and holds it up. And then he puts up the candle and he's like, "Okay, now spin the inside."
And so spin it.
And as you spin it, this track moves, and it's very rough, but as the candle kind of reflects off of the metal of this inside track along the wall, almost like a shadow play, like the first kind of ever, the first ever like horse on a thing that moves.
Yep,
It's a little rougher than that, but along the wall, as this like light's being reflected, it actually is this woman like dancing, the shadow along the wall.
Oh, it's so cool. Yeah, Tisma's just like absolutely enraptured with it, just looking at it go.
Do you like it?
It's just, wow. It's incredible, Bispo.
Okay, good, great.
Thank you.
It's actually
You're welcome.
Cool.
Okay. He pulls out again. Again, Godwin does a little fanfare and a little bit of confetti comes out. He pulls out another satchel, goes up to Esmeralda. Here's for you, Esmeralda.
Oh, thank you. And Esmeralda will open the satchel.
So as the paper opens, yeah, exactly. You see a much different bracelet. This is extremely delicately made. All a wooden bracelet, and it's made from, well, you can tell, a combination of woods. What looks like kind of a darker red rosewood mixed with, I use some D&D woods here, the darker lascar and duskwood. And it's carved in a way where it's like I said, it's very delicate, and each of these woods are carved to look like twisted bundles of branches and vines, kind of all intermingled around. And there's actually spaces between them. So you could, when you put it on, which I'm assuming you're doing.
Yeah, she's immediately putting it on.
Yeah, so these very intricately delicate kind of like branches and vines, you can see your skin beneath it. And as you're kind of looking at it, he goes and pulls. There's like random like debris of like flora around, right, James?
Yep.
He kind of pulls like, maybe there's some like wild like poppy or something. He pulls some random plants and he goes, "This is the best part." And he runs over and he twines it in the middle of this bracelet. And when he's done, this like living, this flower that he kind of just pulled, and as it's kind of mixed in, it makes it almost come alive. And it looks like a living kind of like forest canopy, as like there's this like branches then mingled with like fresh leaves and flowers. And he goes, "You can just, whenever you see a flower, you can pick it up and just kind of weave it in there, and it will make it look alive."
Oh, I love this. Oh, it's my favorite thing. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. He's so embarrassed. You're welcome. Okay. Now for the third one. The last but not the least. And he goes in, and again, there's the fanfare and the confetti. And the satchel is about twice the size of the other ones. And he plumps it in your lap, or right in front of you, Queen. And it's much heftier, and you can just kind of hear like a thunk as it hits this oaken table.
I don't know how strong you think I am, Bisbo. I don't know if I could wear a bracelet this heavy, but okay. Starts opening it, tying it, and opening it.
As you open it, you see a dull matte gray band of indiscriminate metal. Just thick, completely boring, thick band. Heavy and cold to the touch.
I know I don't have much sense of style, so I guess I can appreciate the. It's an actual like armband.
Yeah, it's an armband that clasps.
Okay. Put it in and attach to my left arm here and clasp it shut.
As you clasp it shut, you feel what almost feels like a pinprick, as there was a protrusion on the inside, and you can almost feel a tiny bit of blood well up in the bracelet.
I think you missed a piece.
No, it's perfect. Exactly how I designed it. Do you like it?
Uh-huh.
Okay, good. Oh, so these are my gifts to you to show our friendship. Hope you enjoy them.
Thank you so much, Bispo.
Welcome.
Thank you.
He's looking he's looking at Quinn like, so.
Thank you, Bisbo. It's very sturdy. It's a sturdy and is there like a little, is there a sharp edge that goes in the back, or does that go in the front?
Oh, you got it right. You put it on right.
Quinn kind of does like a maneuver like to see if it like inhibits his movement at all. Pulls out a blade, twirls it, pushes it back in.
Well, what's the plan right now? Are we gonna go wait? What do you want to do for?
Is it profuse blood dripping from my elbow?
No, it was one little prick. It's just one little prick.
I guess we're waiting here for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Should probably do a perimeter check.
Oh.
So. Sure. And so you've got some time. You've got an afternoon. You can do a perimeter check. You can scan it out. Tiernan heads off again in the afternoon to try and track down this Ren character. Returns in wolf form after some time. If there's anything else you guys want to do, otherwise we can skip forward to the evening.
Does Quinn go out to do a perimeter check?
Quinn probably like situates himself on top of the inn for a lot of the time and just kind of.
So you get up to go outside.
Yeah, at some point. Yeah, I'm not gonna sit there the whole time.
So as you're leaving the tavern, you hear Bisbo go, "Oh crap! I'm so excited! Wait, Queen, wait!" And you hear him rumbling around in a bag. They go, "I forgot the best part!" And he throws a dagger at you. And as
you forgot the mana!
Throwing through the air, you start to feel a pull, not almost within your wrist, and not when I say within. You feel this pulling sensation within your wrist, and it's almost like asking you to accept it.
I think reflexively he won't have a choice if it's coming at him. He would reach.
You give into this pulling sensation within your body, pretty much.
I will give in because it's your bracelet that you gave me, and I trust you.
So as you give into this pulling sensation, this dagger, which was kind of going right towards your face.
Your deck's safe. That's
the
as you were.
The bracelet actually lights up and siggles along its whole side, light up, and the silhouette of a howling wolf on the front, and you hear a little and it was clearly Bisbo recording himself. And as you feel this pull, this dagger goes from where your trajectory of your face, and it just weirdly just changes its trajectory and just flies right into your hand.
Oh, no, it's just a normal dagger.
It is as you look at it, you're holding basically a leather wrapped handle, and on each side in this metalwork is actually the silhouette of one side has the silhouette of your face, and the other side has a rough silhouette of Bisbo's face. And on the ends is 2 dagger points. So it's a double-sided dagger with a handle in the middle. And it also has a little bit of arcane energy that flares and goes down. And it just, as this I said, it just kind of flies right into your hand. And then if you let go, it kind of like magnetizes and goes into this bracelet.
He'll like kind of look at like Bisbo, and he will like fling his arm out like in like one direction, and then like give him that pulling sensation again. Is it like
it flings out where you were aiming, and then supernaturally fast, kind of like the needle in the Guardians of the Galaxy. How that's
one more reference, and we gotta get sued by.
Yeah, that's right. Flies back, and again, it's that. And there's that like lone wolf. It says like lone wolf on it, and flies right back to your hands.
Did you make this for me?
I mean, I didn't make it for Esmeralda. I put it on your wrist, man. It's your friendship bracelet.
Do you want to patrol with me? Give it a couple test runs?
Yeah, we can I can test out my gun. You can test out your new dagger. Just a couple of lone wolves in a pack patrolling.
Just a couple of lone wolves in a pack patrolling. Thank you.
Beautiful. So yeah, Jared, it's a +1 returning dagger.
Did you really make me
if
one?
You didn't get that.
Yeah. I was just teasing. You didn't have to actually make me one. You don't need it for something else?
No. Well, let's see.
Right,
hopefully by level 6, I can make you a permanent one. I'll just say that now. But by level 6, I can make you a permanent one. Hopefully.
So just as an aside, Jared, on your actions page, you now have infuse item returning dagger under your items in your actions. So if you just make sure that that's clicked, if you can click the effect button, and the +1 attack, +1 damage will be on you every time that you fire off that dagger.
Fuck yes. That's awesome.
It is kind of awesome. You don't have to track daggers anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
It is completely done.
Yeah.
And it will always be magical, so you don't have to worry about damage immunities.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah, very cool. And
Thanks,
beautiful,
Bisbo.
Eric. I don't do it very often, but you can have inspiration for that. I wasn't aware that was actually what you were doing. You've got this beautiful thing going on. You're a legend. Thank you so much. Always nice to have awesome things happen. And so as you watch the bromance leave the tavern and go out into the forest to be the scourge of rabbits everywhere with those returning daggers.
Shotgun shot, yeah.
As the 2 lone wolves go out, we leave Esmeralda. Tismay, is there anything else you'd like to do for the afternoon before night falls within the Cerulian Inn?
Esmeralda will just look at Tismay, and if you have any questions about Feywild or something, I'm always going to be a resource for you. I know this is what your experience is. So, whatever I can do.
You're a little choppy.
Sorry, Taylor, you're breaking up a little bit there.
Am I?
No, you're not.
Okay. Am I doing it? She's gonna turn to Tismay and say, I know this has been, the past 2 days have been so much taken. If you have any questions about Feywild, about anything I can help you with, ask away. I'm here to help.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. If others are out doing things,
yep.
And it is possible Tismay will also head out maybe around the back of the inn and find like a little quiet place to sit. But she'll only do it if she's alone.
Yep, that's fine. I think that's okay. I think you're able to do it.
Cool.
This is where you secretly hex and poison the rest of the group, right? That's
been the whole plan this whole time.
Just checking that's what we're up to. I'll just change the music. No, it's like, no, as you were. Tismay walks out into the afternoon, and the forest is the wind is picking up. You get a sense that there's a wind in the air. It's starting to move a little bit more. The trees are weaving. You still hear that faint sound of the river in the distance. But it's certainly feeling different than when it was this morning. There's things afoot. You can get a sense that the natural world is changing slightly as you head outside.
So she's going. She'll find a place to sit somewhere, somewhere quiet, and she'll take out the wand for one. She'll reach into one of her many little pouches and pockets and pull out these little like clay discs of sorts that seem to have different items pressed into them. So one has the impression of like a leaf or a bone or stars, various little things, these little like clay disc things that she's collected. And she'll cast them out in front of her and take 10 minutes to ritually cast augury.
Oh, nice. Yeah, cool. Okay. All right. It takes some time. You move the clay tablets within your hands. You scatter them a number of times in the grass, checking to see how they fall, getting a sense of the fate around you, getting the sense of the magic. And within the shadows of the inn and within the shadows of the tree, you can kind of get a sense of the darkness moving around you. You think in the corner of your eye, you see her once more, the figure in the cowl with the stars underneath the darkness, reaching out towards you. But every time you look, it's not like the ritual where you saw her. This is a peripheral flicker that she's there, maybe she's not. You get that sense that she's around. Nice one. What is the question you would like answered?
This is the problem. It has to be course of action we could take in the next 30 minutes. Tismay would like to know whether or not they should, or leaving, and this might be too specific, to gain the help of the summer court. If they should leave instead of staying, I guess. Should they like? Is it?
Should I leave to get the help of the summer court?
Yes, or is that too generic? If not, then like just general. Should they stay or leave? I guess.
Should I stay or should I go?
I know. Yeah, specifying the summer court might be a bit specific, but in that case, like, should they stay? Should they remain here?
We remain here is the trick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still not clear on the question. Should we remain here? Is that the question? Like, if in the next 30 minutes, should I remain here? Is that good or bad for us? Is that really what you want to know?
No, I should rephrase that.
Because you're asking your god, so just want to check.
Yes.
You know. Should I have the chocolate cake or the carrot cake?
You're
not really asking your god. You're looking at the fates. You're looking at
the fates in general. Yeah. A divination thing. I don't know how to phrase it. That's the problem. She would like to know if no, I don't know how to phrase it at all.
Just talk us through it. We might.
Maybe something like maybe something like should you trust Esmeralda's plan or plans?
Yeah, that's more what I was getting at.
Because she's pushing for that. So, or is that like should you follow Esmeralda's? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Is that an action that I'm taking? Is
listening
to Esmeralda an action?
Yeah.
So yes. So yeah. Should she? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Listen. over the course of the next 30 minutes, basically within this time period, does she listen to Esmeralda?
You look down expecting to see shadows emerge, stars emerge, something to happen with these clay, and I'm sorry to say, they don't move.
Okay.
It's neither a good result nor a bad one. Following it hasn't dissuaded you, but it certainly hasn't encouraged you. You know, there's not like a massive favor or fortune to be had by doing so, if that makes sense. Sorry. Yeah.
No, it's okay. I was mostly curious if it would be like an absolutely not.
Yeah. No, it's certainly not an absolutely not, but it's also not an absolutely yes either.
Yes.
It's certainly not an endorsement coming in.
What's the neutral answer on the Magic 8 Ball? Like, we will see.
Future
unclear.
Unclear. Yeah, something like that.
That's what she got, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Solid. Okay.
For the boys out hunting and patrolling around the outside, I'm assuming you're not doing this stealthily, are you? Because you're firing off firearms.
No,
you're doing all sorts of things. Yeah. Okay. Can I get you both to make perception checks, please?
Oh boy.
Here comes the ogre that I promised.
The whole fleet of them.
Oh, that's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
I'm wondering if Godwin has any.
Bispo, you're wandering through, indiscriminately blasting things, I guess, within the forest. Yeah.
Ice everywhere.
Ice everywhere. And you don't notice the creature. It's tall, Quinn. 7 to 8 foot tall. And at first, when you first look at it, it looks like it's a tree. It looks motionless and standing. And then you see it pull out an exceptionally long bow. And you start training it on Bisbo as the kobold starts to move through the forest glade. As you watch, you see the shadow of this creature, and it looks like a giant, not quite an enormous kind of 20-foot tall giant, but it's a tall, muscular figure. And you get a sense, you see the skin of this creature kind of very much blending in with the dappled wood of the forest around. And even her cascading red hair kind of blends in with the fire of an autumnal bush nearby. She wears furs, and she seems to be very quiet. I mean, you rolled an exceptional perception roll, so you're just watching her track Bisbo as she's kind of getting a sense of around you. She has not seemingly seen you. She's been distracted by Bisbo's explosions at this point.
I would either step in front or move Bisbo out of the way if it looks like she's going to fire.
Yeah, so you move forward. Yeah. Do you lock eyes? How do you do this? You're just standing in front of her?
I would just probably dash and slide in between them all, looking at her to show this figure that I'm aware she's there, and then.
Bisbo, you barely even notice. You hear the sounds of footsteps and fast movement by Quinn as he slides across the grass to wedge himself between you and a tree.
Is that something you do on patrol? I try to slide.
We're not alone.
You look over and you see her. 7 foot tall, such Fearbolg, bright red hair. She looks very natural in this environment. You barely heard her. You did not see her, Bisbo, as this bulking female form kind of stands out from between the forest and still bow knocked. What is this? She says in common.
This is... patrons at the Cerulian Inn.
Ah, the newcomers. That's different. He slings the bow over his shoulder. Tiernan said there were 4, but they didn't mention kobold.
I bet she's slack-jawed because she's so tall. I'm so short.
Massively tall.
He probably didn't have enough words left in message sending. I had to.
Well, the squirrel wasn't overly talkative. That is true. You're not from anywhere near here.
Neither
Salzburg.
are you.
If I was together, well, I've come and gone. The Arboness has made my home for the past few decades. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Ren. Tiernan sent for me.
Thank God. Thank God.
You're so tall.
You're so small.
That's accurate. Okay, well, yes, milady.
Why is your
We
voice?
are
please.
friends of.
I'm
We are
not a
friends with
lady,
that-
just Ren.
Oh, okay. So not a dame either, I'm assuming. Yes, we are friends with that drunk guy. A drunk lays about.
Ah, yes. Yes, Tiernan's been... I hope he hasn't been too in his cups. I hope he hasn't been too abrasive. He sometimes gets a little offensive. It's why we tend to live out in the forest rather than in town, if you know what I mean. There was one too many incidents, so I felt best if we bring him out here for everyone's sake.
Oh, no, we rescued him from some type of fey hell hallucination that kept him as a slave and not everybody in there for months at end. But everything's good now. I mean, I kind of destroyed the front hall.
What?
Let's maybe head to the Cerulean Inn and we'll explain what's going on.
Please do. Please do.
Oh yes.
Talk
Yeah, but
on
by
the
the way,
way.
I am Bisbo, and this
Hello,
is my
Bisbo.
partner Queen. We are just a couple of lone wolves on a patrol together
In a pack.
in a pack.
Hello, Queen.
It's nice to meet
Do
you.
you... Jared, does Quinn have... I've always pictured him to be in slightly army uniform. Do you have any insignia that denotes your rank or the fact that you're actually part of the army, or is that all gone now? Is that something that you've been traveling with?
He is wearing the same thing he's always wearing, and he probably would continue to wear it because it's quality material. I mean, it's like his armor. He definitely. I don't know if you think that his job would have insignias of any kind because they seem kind of like tacked on.
That's up to you. Like they could have a symbol that denotes themselves as being part of the Hounds, or you know, at the very least, would it have the shield of the army of the Grand Duchy of Dornig, or?
Yeah, you probably would have like a pin like that maybe like attaches the cloak to the uniform.
Okay.
It
Just
would be,
just to help me, if you know, as others introduce themselves, whether you're
Yeah.
identifiable as a member of the armed forces.
It would probably be a Raywald, like a Raywald pin.
Yep.
Maybe that his father gave him, you know, or that he took from his father when he kind of randomly left. So that like
The
blue
crest of Raywald, sure.
Yeah, blue shield with the yellow hammer. That would probably be it, though. I mean, most of it would be for utility, and like I said, I don't get a strong vibe that like this flashy part of the army. Like I said, they seem more like a tool than a piece of the unit. So that would probably be it. And even then, it might be like half covered, you know, by some other leather or something.
Yep, absolutely. Okay. You wander back towards the Cerulean Inn with Ren, this large Theobald woman. I'm sorry, I wasn't aware that he was... I'll apologise to him when I get there. It's been a number of weeks, and the forest has been strange. I've had my hands busy. I figured he was just on a bender, having a few too many ales. He often does this when the weather gets a little cooler.
It's not untrue, so I don't know that you need to apologize.
Is he all right?
He's more put together today than he was yesterday, so...
He does look better.
Has he attacked anyone?
No.
The bear.
The bear?
Or the wolf. When he's particularly angry, it can be the wolf.
I mean, he attacked some mushroom stew pretty hard, but...
Oh, that's a good sign if he's eating. Come, lead on. What do you know?
As we're going,
What do you
James,
Yep.
is there any... I'm looking for kind of like a large piece of just like lumber that's...
You're in a forest.
Okay.
You can find a large piece of lumber. When you say large,
Like
there's
big
trees.
enough where I can wedge it, and then maybe I can like quickly split it too. I just want a piece of. Okay.
I love this.
I want to make. I want to
no
make a
idea
rough.
what he was.
I want to make a rough wooden shield for Quinn before we go. So.
Oh right,
Like,
constructing
that's
a ship.
relatively easy. Yeah, just like a rough wooden shield. Just
You're proficient in
handle on a piece of-
woodcrafting tools, aren't you?
Yep, woodcrafting and smith tools. So I feel like-
Easy, no problem.
Yeah.
You can make it. Yeah, that's fine.
Like a
you can make a
Deku
rough old shield.
you know? Like a...
Yeah. Just a real rough. Yeah.
Plank. There's a plank with some
Just a
straps
plank
on the
with-
back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Awesome. Okay. You make your way back to the Cerulian Inn, and for Esmeralda and Tismay, Tismay's return from her augury at the back as you're interrupted by the indoors opening, and surely enough, in comes this 7-foot tall woman. She stoops heavy underneath the door frame to get in, but you do notice that the ceilings here are high enough to accommodate her height, just almost to the point where perhaps it's been designed as thus. You get a sense that this rough old shack she's been here for longer than the shack's been here. So you get a sense that the construction's probably either been altered or accommodated in order to deal with her height. She looks down towards both of you as she walks into the room, and with a gasp says, "Well, Your Majesty," and bows a little nod of the head towards Esmeralda.
Oh, fuck.
Esmeralda. Esmeralda will incline her
maybe says
head.
that under his breath.
Quinn, why? Wait, what are you swearing about?
I'm gonna go play with my dagger.
Go into my room and play with my dagger.
Sorry, go ahead, Esmeralda.
Esmeralda
Is that
will.
Go on. Sorry.
Will just gently incline her head. Good to meet you. You must be red?
Rinyana. She says in
Rinyana.
Sylvan.
Ah, Renyana. That is a beautiful name. And Esmeralda is responding back in Sylvan.
Do you introduce yourself in your Sylvan, your full name?
She will introduce herself. I am Esmeralda of House Astrum and the Court of Rose.
Welcome. Welcome to the forest.
Thank
You will be safe here. I will protect you.
Well, that's not our experience, but
Well, now I'm here.
Esmeralda's gonna quietly shoot Bizbo a look that says, "Not now."
Hello.
Thanks to you.
Let's see, I think on the
The joys of Zoom.
Yeah.
Go, Jared.
I was going to say very quickly on the way back, we would have explained as much as we could have on the walk. So like we don't need to kind of like,
Yeah.
you know, we give her the real high level really, really quickly. You know, like what maybe she didn't get, and so that's all I was going to say. Sorry.
Sure.
And Esmeralda will just sincere thanks for your protection and your guidance in this matter. I wish we met on better terms.
An arduous journey, but welcome to the forest none the same. And then hello, I'm Ren. I recognize you, the baker's daughter, Tismay.
Yes, that's me.
Welcome to Cerulian Inn. It sounds like you've got yourself into a mighty pickle.
Yes, you could say that.
Omerta's moving.
She's...
The boggles are growing. You've encountered them, I understand. The small black ones, the ones that are oily, and they disappear and reappear within shadow.
Yes, they tried to grab me and take me towards the river to Amurata. I can only assume.
I get the sense that yes, the river's flooding. Up north, it has broken its banks quite wide. The trees are submerged and the boggles are coming deep within the peat bog, deep out and around. It took a lot of effort just to save what animals and plants were there. There's a stench growing upstream. If what Tiernan says is true and the old barrow has come to life once more, then she will do what she did last time. She will drown the forest. The old trees of hers, the roots will grow deeper, grow stronger.
So you've seen this before, the river flooding and...
Years ago. We stood together. We tried to stop her. We thought we did. A month ago, at market day, I was there when the baby was taken. Digby and I, son of the reef, the bugbear, we tried our best, but the creature disappeared. We couldn't save it. I can hear its crying in the forest. Across the water, where the floodwater is spilled, I can hear its cries. Its cries for its mother. I fear it's in the grasp of the hag now.
Is there anything we can do about that?
Depends if we're ready to stand or not. I do not know you. The last time we stood against Muerta, it took the best of us. Thrembana was the most powerful and gave herself to seal her away. There are more of you than there were of us. If Digby joins, if Tiernan comes, he's sober enough to fight. Maybe.
If you were to, like, generally quantify your power level compared to others and gave it a arbitrary number between 1 and 20, what would that be, you think?
Strange thing to say. What an unusual little creature that you are.
Like
Don't you know that not everything can be codified with numbers, statistics. I believe it's called statistics. I've spent some time in towns and understand that you add things with sums. Can you
That's
add a lifetime's wisdom together and give it a number from 1 to 20?
Yes.
You can.
Can you really?
It's actually,
You
it's in the rulebook, actually. 1000% you can. It is the foundation of this interaction, I believe, to be honest with you.
Is it thus that those that aren't controlled by individuals, isn't it the CR goes above 20, even to the point of 26?
Do you think we are strong? I don't know. You guys look really cool, and you're kind of both of you scare me kind of on a deep primal level. But, I mean, you know, I think we're very capable, and we are, as I said, we're a strong pack of lone wolves together, now bonded by bracelets. Do you think we have the power and ability to take on Emorta and her? Because we've had to, you know, both of her underlings have gotten in the way.
And yet you survived.
Yes.
Amwerta, it's not as bad as it was. I sense her power is not complete. She is building. The longer that it takes, the more powerful she'll become, of course. If we have 7, that will be an entirely different thing.
I think you mean 8. And I like point back, and then Godwin comes up with his little scissors.
Fanfare.
Yeah. Playing like, you know, Call of the Valkyrie or whatever, some more intense.
Yeah. The battle music, sure.
Yeah, the battle music.
Yep. Indeed. 8. With the little one.
Tisme,
Folks, no, keep going. Sorry, no.
I was going to say, I know that there's a lot of confusion happening and you're unsure of yourself, but are you honestly ready? Do you want to, you see the threat that she poses both to you and to all the people that you love and care about, right?
I mean, from everything that you've told me, it seems like Omerta is definitely a powerful being to be wary of.
I haven't just told you it. Have you seen what her people do? They had trapped this entire inn in a horrible nightmare fayscape that we were all controlled by. That is not... I know that you're unsure and you're kind of being sketchy about everything, but you know, this we've seen her underlings perform, I would think, objectively evil acts. I know it's hard to quantify that, but
In the service of not to justify their acts, what they've done, the way that they've hurt us and the
innocent people
that they've hurt isn't acceptable, but you're right. We're going to have to encounter Muerta at some point, and that will likely need to happen sooner rather than later. I agree on that point, yes.
oh, again, I feel like you're kind of dodging my question here. I know we will encounter her, but are you ready to fight her?
Yes, if that's what has to be done. Yeah.
I kind of look around to my companions. Am I not saying this correctly? Like,
Maybe
I'm agreeing with you.
Maybe we see what Digby's books have to reveal about the situation. Maybe they'll give us some sort of enlightenment on what we're encountering, what Tisme can expect to happen. There's a couple missing puzzle pieces, I think, that are still in place, but I agree on the whole that I don't know that Amuerta's intentions with Tisme are gonna work out in her favor, and they certainly haven't worked out in ours so far, so...
It's not that I think that she's some sort of benevolent creature that's just going to give us everything we've ever wanted and everything will be fine. It's my hesitation isn't that. I just feel like there's more that I don't understand. And that's not entirely fair, as you guys have been put into a situation in which you've been attacked and all these terrible things have happened, but I mean, Omerta said in the message that I was gifted to her, or promised to her, by Sarastra. I don't know what that means. I don't know what significance that is for me. And again, I'm not saying that she's a good person. I'm just saying it feels like there's more.
And this may not end with Omerta.
Correct.
Well, there's ways to find out more information. We read the book. We talk to the summer courts. Talk to Immorta. All three of those are options for getting more information.
Yeah. We can go in and not guns blazing. Not a phrase.
Well, one of us.
Yes. You in particular can go in guns blazing and attack, and that's something that can be done, I presume. I just don't feel like it is as simple a solution as that.
It's not.
I feel like there's more.
Yes, hags, that never is simple.
And I just haven't felt a strong pull that going in and just attempting to do away with Omerta immediately with no other interaction or information. I don't know, it just that simplistic. This is some great evil that has been done to me that just is dispatched with, and that's it. I feel that there's more.
I mean, I agree with you. She's part of whatever conspiracy, but I just think ultimately she's hurt so many people that, I mean, I'm worried about the people in the village, honestly.
It's more than the village if the Shadow Court comes to power. It's everywhere.
Trust me, I know, and I want to get interest more than anybody, and I need to rescue Drake. She's still in their clutches, so...
Sounds like Immorta's almost a pawn of this Shadow Court.
She is. That's what we...
Yes.
And her vanity is being manipulated, and, you know, it's probably an agreement between them, but...
This Archfey we spoke about earlier is the one giving Omerta this power. To dismantle the Shadow Court, we might have to go after that Archfey directly, which is a dangerous path.
And on that lovely note, guys, I think we're out of time.
Yeah.
Next week on Hags Are People Too. But thank you everyone for joining us. Thanks for playing, guys. That was a lovely session. Really, really nice. No combat. Wow, the first.
Thank you.
So normally I get 3 encounters in. Today was none, which was really, really nice. Thank you, my wonderful players. Thank you, Eric. That was really beautiful. That little set piece with those bracelets, really, really lovely. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll be back next week for the next round of Let's Play with Hags. Fun with Hags.
Yeah.
Covenant chill.
Covenant chill.
Covenant chill.
New wand, who dis?
Yeah. That was really good.
New wand,
Really
who dis? Outstanding. But thanks, everyone. We'll see you next week on Feytouched, and have a great week. Goodbye.
Bye.